We spend so much of our time trying to rationalize other people's decisions without actually being them. I don't know why those things happen. I don't know why I had multiple best friends completely backstab me. I don't know why I've had all the money I've worked for taken from me. This video is really for people who are in this transition phase of not really knowing what's going on in their life. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is actually unplanned because I just want to be authentic with you and I want to be real, and I don't ever want to come on here and spread false positivity when there is so much going on behind the scenes. We are going to talk about the waiting period. We're going to talk about feelings of anger, injustice, and just feeling down. And I hope that this can give you some hope, and if not, I hope at least you know that you're not alone in this. And I have been through the ringer for the past, I don't even know how many years when it comes to these themes. Also, just to give people an update with my teeth, I get my final veneers on April 9th, so watch out for that because I'm going to be making a video and kind of finalizing my whole experience. Thank God. Hopefully everything looks good because I don't know if some of you saw on TikTok, if you follow me there. It hasn't been fun and I don't want to do this again. So I posted this video on TikTok a few days ago, and for the first minute and 30 seconds, I was kind of just telling you guys like what I've been through in the past even just 2 years and how my life has literally been spiraling downward. I would say since summer 2023, I think throughout my life I've had peaks of ups and peaks of downs, which is normal. Everybody has their own story, everybody has their own deck of cards, everybody has their own lessons they have to learn. And I got a comment basically saying, how did all of that happen? And I think what I've been struggling with recently is normally I like to intellectualize my pain and I like to intellectualize other people's behaviors, and I think we do that and we see it so much on social media where, you know, you'll see a video of like why your avoidant ex did this or like why this guy blocked you, and it's just like we spend so much of our time trying to rationalize other people's decisions without actually being them. I honestly think that's what's really stumped me recently, is because I don't actually know why these people did this. I don't know why those things happened. I don't know why I had multiple best friends completely backstab me. I don't know why I had a whole relationship where he used me the whole time. I don't know why I've had all the money I've worked for taken from me. I think there's already enough people who come on the internet and like to show you their success and like to show you what they have and how they got there. Hear about the hardships after they've already happened. It's rare that you hear about them while somebody's going through them, and that's why I wanted to make this video, because I want to share those hardships. I want to show you guys how this journey is not just sunshine, flowers, and rainbows, and affirmations, and meditations, and positivity, and how there has actually been such a struggle even being able to get online and post videos. I just don't want to be fake, and I don't want to sit here and make a video this week when I'm just not feeling positive and I'm confused, and I've been really trying to lean on God. I think that's what's been helping me a lot, honestly, is really just asking like, why is this happening, and trying to trust that this was for a higher purpose. I want to share with you guys, I actually just had a dream because I took a little nap today. My grandmother has Alzheimer's right now. She's still eating, but she can't talk anymore and she can't move or anything. And my dad goes to visit her like a few times a week, and I had a dream where I was in her body and I felt what it was like to know what's going on but not be able to like express. It was very strange because she was also closed off to the other side because she was frustrated. She's like, I can't interact with anybody here, but I'm still not crossed over there. And sometimes I'll have moments of like feeling like I'm crossing over and then I don't. And it was strange because I was in her body and I was like feeling all of the emotions she's feeling of what it's like to have Alzheimer's and what it's like to have your motor skills basically cut off, but you still are consciously aware. You're not as brain dead as people think that you are. Basically, I eventually like leave her body, and she sees like my dad come in like over and over again into her room, and she can't really like interact with him though, but she sees him and she sees how upset he is over this and how he's like really struggling with this. And I eventually leave her body, and I'm asking her, I'm like, why are you still here? I wanted more of a spiritual sense and answer of like what was going on, like what is causing you to hold on so tightly. And she was saying, she's like, well, his lesson's not learned. And I was like, what do you mean? And she was like, he hasn't learned yet. I can't leave until he learns. And I was like, what does he have to learn? She was basically telling me that my father wasn't praying to God, and that he wasn't leaning on God. He was leaning on himself to try to make sense of what was happening and make sense of like, why is she still here? What is going on? Like, why did she get this disease anyways? Why am I the only one taking care of her? Like, all of these questions. And basically I like look at her, and it was almost as if like God spoke through her, because it was in an accent that she doesn't have, and I was like, this is strange. And she said, God is good, he'll make your path clear. And then I woke up. I'll leave the Bible quote here, because I would love to be one of those Bible people that can just like say like Deuteronomy, or I don't even know if that's how you say it, or like Peace Psalms. Oh my God, guys, I'm gonna be so embarrassed. I went to Catholic school, by the way, but that was a disaster. God that I pray to is not a religion, it's a relationship, and it's something that I'm willing to share. My first time ever really trusting my intuition was when I almost got kidnapped, which I talk about in the book that I'm coming out with. And then the second time I really learned how to trust my intuition was when I was deciding to leave FSU. And I had to learn what it felt in my body to have a yes and to have a no. And now I feel like, you know, for a few years I really was questioning, well, what do I do? Where do I go? Who am I supposed to be around? I've moved so many times. I've traveled to so many places trying to like quote unquote find myself. And I've been right here the whole time. And I think this past year, having been through an awful breakup, I really had to face a lot of parts of myself that I did not want to face at all. And those were necessary in order to get me to the next chapter, because I even look back now and I'm like, oh, I see what had to be carved out of me, what had to be scraped out of me, like constantly questioning myself, not trusting myself, constantly asking for other people's opinions in this period of my life. And when you're going through a lot of changes very fast, the most important thing you can do is just trust your connection with God and your connection with the divine, or whatever you believe in. And that is the voice you have to listen to. You don't need to listen to all of your friends. You don't need to listen to your parents. You don't need to listen to your boyfriend, your girlfriend. You don't need to listen to people on the internet. You need to just listen to your conversations with God. And that's really what I've been trying to do. Try and feel peace in not knowing. This video is really for people who are in this transition phase of not really knowing what's going on in their life. At this point in my life, I am not lost in a sense where I don't know what my purpose is. And I can make a different video about that, because that ruled my life for so long and was so destructive. But I want to say that a part of me, I think, always knew what my purpose was. I was just spending years and years running from it. And I think with this past breakup, I really had to uncover these parts of myself that was running away from myself. And I attracted a partner who was also running away from themselves. And I think that's why it's really important to look at the relationships in your life, because they will reflect back to you a lot of where you were at or where you might have previously been out that you've outgrown. 2025, I had a few events that happened very early on, were very out of the blue, honestly, and I had to tie up a lot of loose knots. And I remember I just had to make decisions very on the spot where I didn't even question, you know? I was like, God, if this is what you're pulling from my life, if you are ending this business venture for me, I'm just gonna listen to you. I'm not even gonna question you right now. I'm just gonna end it. If you are ending this relationship, I'm just gonna end it. I'm not gonna question you. If you are having this situation play out like this with this person, I'm gonna have it just go that way. I'm not even gonna question you. And I think now, for the first time in my life, I'm not dealing with this battle of what do I do? What's going on? Do I ask somebody? And I just fully trusted God and fully trusted the message I was hearing without understanding it and without waiting for me to be able to rationalize it to understand it. And I feel like I've been in this very silent period. And some Christians talk about this as like the waiting period, even though I feel like a lot of my life has been a waiting period of just carving a lot of things out of me and extracting a lot of things out of me. I feel like I've just been in this silent period in my life where I'm just not questioning anymore and I'm just trusting, because every time I haven't trusted and I've made decisions based off of what I think is going to be good and what's going to be safe for me, they've burned up in my face. And I'm just sick of making decisions that blow up and being around people and being in relationships that blow up. And I just don't have it in me. And I don't want to say that I'm like depressed, but I'm definitely numb. I don't know if I'm numb because I'm healing or I'm numb because I'm just so over it. You've been through a lot of hardship and your plans have not worked out for you. You've been through a lot of relationships where people might have not had your back or took advantage of you. I just want to say that if your heart was pure in those situations, like, you will be rewarded for them. And I truly do believe that. And I think that's why I haven't went off the deep end, is because although I feel like I've had a clean slate, I also feel like I have a clean slate. And that all those loose ends were tied up. And I will know the answers over time as to why that happened. I don't need to know in this exact moment. I don't need to know in order to move on with my life. I just trust that that was the decision that needed to be made in that moment. And we made it, and now we can move forward. And for anybody who has just felt like they've been on a never-ending roller coaster, I see you, I hear you, I'm with you. I've definitely felt very strange in the past week, and I don't like to victimize myself. I would like to say I'm a very instrumental thinker and I can dig myself out of any problem, but I've really just been like, why? I think of the story of Job where he had everything taken from him, and that's truly what it's felt like. For me, I mean, obviously I still have my apartment, I still have my cats, I still have my family, so I'm not completely empty-handed, but it does feel a little bit, you know, like I've worked so hard for a lot of things and had people snake me, and betrayal is something that I'm very used to, unfortunately. I can make videos about that because it's probably one of the hardest emotions to really get through. I really was down and I was kind of just like angry, honestly, and I even remember saying last week to my friend, I was like, because we were going to church, and I was like, dude, like, I hate saying this, but like, I really have felt like I've hated God, and it felt like I was back in high school where I was like, why are these things happening to me? Why am I so sick? Why, you know, did I move from New Jersey where I had such a great life, and now it's like my life is in flames and I have all these like issues and addictions and disorders, and like I don't feel like myself, and I feel like for so long I just have not felt like myself. And I had to get all of that stuff really exorcised out of me. I had to literally get an exorcism that's lasted like 9 to 12 years. And I don't really know if that's the right word, but that's how it's felt. I was just so frustrated, and I was like, what the hell is going on? Like, why are the people who, you know, have benefited from me sitting here and they're perfectly okay, and they're like launching businesses with all the stuff that I worked on, and people owe me so much money, and people have benefited off me being kind to them but couldn't even, you know, lift a finger when I asked for help? Why did that happen? Why was this how things played out? And I think the message today with all of this is that it's okay not to know the answer, and it's okay not to understand. Internal rage has been something that I've always struggled with, And I felt it really come out. It was like the 17-year-old girl in me is coming out again, and she's so pissed off and she's so frustrated, and she doesn't know if she's more mad at everybody else or she's more mad at herself. That was really painful to see, that despite me now going to church and reading the Bible and trying to get strong in my faith again, that I still had a lot of hatred towards God from my childhood and from my high school years, based off of a lot of things where I wasn't able to understand why those things happened. And the truth is, I still don't know why they happened. I still don't know what that purpose was. I think we will torture ourselves for answers and stay up all night for answers of why somebody did something and why something went the way that it did. My whole thing was like, well, I'm going to be successful and I'm going to be this and I'm going to be that, and then you'll see. And now I'm just like, I don't even care. Like, I just want peace. I don't care if you look at me like I'm the greatest thing ever afterwards. I don't care if my exes miss me. I don't care if I have friends from my past who are sitting there being like, oh, I want to be friends with her. I don't care if somebody takes my ideas and launches the business and it's successful. Of course it's successful. It's my idea. I don't care anymore. I don't care, because I'm so over it. And I just feel like I've had this clean slate now. And now I'm really waiting for God to really show me who he is and show other people who he is through me. And that's really what I've been praying about. I'm like, God, do not let what I've been through go to waste. I'm doing the best I can in this moment to try to explain what's happened and what I've learned in the wisdom and share that, but show me to show them what comes after this, because right now I'm not in that place, and that scares me a little bit, because it's like I want to come on here and help people develop and, you know, share my story and inspire people, and I'm like, how can I inspire people when I don't feel like I feel like I've gotten the short end of the stick. I don't feel like I'm in where I'm supposed to be, and that's a struggle that I've had my whole life, is not feeling like my life is mine and feeling like there's something wrong. And I think a lot of people feel like that because of social media. I've been through all of this. I've had so much removed internally and externally at this point. It's like once you think you're done with him taking things, it's just like, here we keep going, here we keep going. And I'm just like, oh my Lord. That's really it. That's honestly, you know, this video is gonna leave with a cliffhanger, because I don't have an answer for you. I think the only thing getting me through this is reading the word and trusting that although sometimes the physical realm is not just, and we've seen that in our own justice system, I don't think the spiritual realm makes a mistake. And I would hate to sit here and tell you guys that I think God made a mistake and that everything that happened was not for a reason. It was, of course, for a reason. I might just not know that reason yet. You are not alone in your struggles, and if you are transforming, it is a painful process, and I hate when people come online and they're like, just keep going. Motivation, I think that's important, but I also think this side of the transformation is important, of sitting there feeling like you're constantly fighting an uphill battle, like things are not fair, you're not getting rewarded for your efforts, people are constantly stabbing you in the back, you're constantly losing things, and you just feel like you're constantly just being pressed and pressed and pressed into the ground. And it's like, how much further can I possibly go? I've seen how things have played out, and I've seen how God has come through at the last second, and how divine events have happened. The best thing that you can do, just like in my dream said, is remember that God is good and you will be rewarded. I don't know when. I don't believe that God removes things that are necessary. I don't think he makes mistakes. I don't think anything that's happened in your life was a mistake. I believe in karma. I believe in past lives. I believe that people are on a spiritual path of evolution. When you walk through the door, a lot of the time you cannot take people with you, you cannot take your apartment with you, you cannot take your family with you, you cannot take your career with you, you cannot take your beliefs with you, you cannot take your ideas with you. You have to leave everything at the door and walk through yourself and see who you become, and let go of the expectations of who you think you are, and allow yourself to naturally, you know, fall into the rhythm of what God is planning for you and what your soul is planning for you. And I don't believe that even your higher self is ever going to align you in the wrong direction. We can align ourselves in the wrong direction. I think we can become things that we're not meant to become. but I don't think our higher self will direct us towards a path or becoming a person that we're not going to be the most happy, abundant, joyful, successful version of ourselves. That is the message. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry for rambling. I just wanted to be truthful about what was kind of happening and how I'm feeling, and to let you guys know that although I am creating myself to be in the self-development space, and I always have loved this space, I don't have all the answers, and I'm sure I'll look back in 5 years at certain things and be like, oh, okay, I was wrong about that. But that's what growth and evolution is for, and I want to just be real with you. If you are not where you think you should be, or not where you want to be, or people have backstabbed you and you are just so lost and confused, you are not alone. It does get better as long as you stop trying to find answers, where a lot of times there are no answers. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!